It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy middle of the week, and welcome to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Be sure to connect with us on the social media channels, trying to grow some of those channels. We're doing pretty good on the Facebook page. We've got over 4,100 likes. So if you're a listener of the program, I'd like to encourage you to go over there and like our page. It's facebook.com/That Business Show. And if you send me a message and ask me to like your page back, I will do that as well for you if you have a page that you would like to help grow and promote as well. Happy to do that for my fellow listeners out there. Just be sure to send me a message with a link, and I can knock that out for you pretty quickly. Twitter, please follow us on Jamie_Maloney, and also trying to grow the YouTube channel. So if you head over to youtube.com/Jamie Maloney and subscribe to our YouTube channel, we would appreciate that. We put all the videos up there right after each hour. That's the first place you can always find the program if you miss the show. Thanks to Josh over there with Tampa Bay Multimedia, who runs the live stream, and it's up there usually within like 20 minutes of each hour. Is it not, Josh?
Yep. It sure is, man. It goes pretty quick.
And it's up there in high definition as well. All shows are also available on demand over at tampabayradio.com, but we have to compress the video and the audio, so quality is a little distorted when we do that. So we always recommend people watch the videos over on our YouTube channel. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour today, it'll be Working Women Wednesdays, where we feature a couple of the ladies from the Working Women of Tampa Bay Networking Group. And also we'll be here from the founder, Jessica Ravelli. So this is a great networking group based here in the Tampa Bay region for professional women. You don't have to be a business owner to join the organization, but they have many great events, and we'll be talking about the upcoming Working Women Conference. That's just right around the corner, September 8th and 9th at the Straz Center. Tickets are still available for that over on workingwomenconference.com. In the first hour today, on the second part of the hour, we'll be talking with Ira Anderson. He is the director of BDO, and that is an accounting and assurance firm, and we've talked with their company in the past, so this is his first time on the program, but we've spoken with BDO before, so be sure to stay tuned for that discussion. Up first, though, I have Rita Rodriguez, who is the owner of Seniors Moving Forward and is a senior move manager. So I will welcome Rita to the program this morning. Rita, welcome. So is the red button? Hit the button there if you would. So first off, Rita, tell us what a senior move manager is.
A senior move manager is someone who, in my case anyway, is a member of the National Association of Senior Move Managers, and we primarily help seniors with relocations and their families, because mostly the families are the ones that are involved in general, the ones we deal with. We also help with organizing their move or just organizing their home, help them declutter, put them in touch with other people that can help with the move. We work, some of us have moving companies, some of us don't. Myself, I don't, but we have movers that we work with. We have auctioneers that we work with.
Now,
if you name something, we can probably have a connection to it and help you with it.
Now, a senior move manager, this is a niche in the moving industry. I'll be honest with you, the first, I didn't even realize this was a niche. Christy Campbell, a show partner, referred you over to me for the program here, but we started talking about this, and I was a little bit confused because when you use the term senior in front of anything, I think it's like you're a senior executive in that position, but you're a senior move manager, meaning you're helping move seniors to maybe downsizing, and you get that confusion a lot with that term. People see senior move manager and they say, what is that?
Absolutely, all the time. And then when I do explain what I do, I mostly hear, I wish I had known you a year ago when I had to move my mother, or when I had to move my father, or just get them downsized and decluttered. Yeah, I get that a lot.
Now, why is there this niche for moving seniors? Why can't just the average or moving company work with seniors? Which they could, but what is it with working with seniors that is your selling point to them?
Well, a lot of times we get referrals from out of state. The family might live, right now I'm working with a family that the primary daughter that I'm dealing with lives in New York City. She can't be down here all the time because she's still working, and she's become the sandwich generation like most people my age are, and they're not they do not have the time to be down here. They can't get away from their job, and they don't know where to start. They don't know who in the area moves them, who helps with all these things. So they will contact a senior move manager, and we pretty much become the daughter that is in town and can help with all the necessities to get the relocation.
And I imagine
care of.
there's some nuances with working with seniors that you got to be mindful of. For instance, the importance of pictures, and maybe they have a little bit of a connection to certain things that maybe others would consider trash. So you have to kind of know how to work those nuances. Can you elaborate on that for us?
Absolutely. What I do is I do a free consultation and take pictures of everything, particularly like you have an elderly woman who has a china cabinet, then she has it set up a certain way. So we take pictures for memory placement. So I can go back in either myself or with my crew, and we set up the china cabinet exactly how it was in her first place so that she feels more comfortable and more at ease when she gets in the new one.
How did you find this niche as a senior move manager? I see you come from a background of nursing and also real estate and interior decorating.
Right.
How did this company come about?
Actually, a friend who lived in Texas networked with a lady who did this. She really wasn't sure what it was, and she said, I think I found a great job for you, because at the time I went into it is interior decorating kind of took a dive with the housing department.
Right.
And so I checked into it and went online and decided this is what I wanted to do. I think everything I've done in the past led me to it.
How big is the senior move industry? This outlook must be very good for you here in Florida, because seniors are coming to Florida. Are you seeing your business grow more and more? I mean, tell me about the outlook for this business.
I am. When I started 7 years ago, there were maybe 400 or 500 senior move managers throughout the country. Now there are over 1,000, and we're into Europe a little bit. We're into Hawaii, Alaska. So we refer to each other. Someone in, say, Atlanta has a client that's moving to Tampa, so we'll connect, and they'll do one part of the move, and we'll take care of the other. And that way we know that they're well taken care of, and the family feels confident that it's become like a chain, that it's not strangers on each end.
Now, when you're working with seniors in a moving situation, is the client oftentimes the entire family versus just the individual that you're moving? Or are you oftentimes hired by maybe the son or the daughter of the client that you're actually moving? I mean, a lot of times this is probably a monumental event at this point, because they're probably maybe moving into an assisted living facility, or they're downsizing. So it's an emotional time at their life, having to maybe give some things up. Can you elaborate on that for us?
It exactly is, and most of the times I do stay in touch with the family. It's almost on the rare side that I deal just with the client, and if it's a non-senior, of course I do. But with a senior, generally it's through the family I deal with, or it could be a guardianship, or it could be an attorney. And then I keep in touch with the client as well as the family member. This one I'm working with right now, I'm in touch with 4 family members.
Did I catch that right? You said you work with non-seniors as well, so you guys are basically just a normal moving company that actually has a niche that you cater to in seniors?
I am not actually the moving company. I'm the moving manager. So I'm like the project manager.
Right.
But we do sometimes packing and unpacking, and sometimes I have the movers do it. It depends on the situation. But exactly, it's a niche market.
So I would be able to hire you.
Absolutely.
That's what I was
Absolutely.
getting at.
I'd be glad to help you.
So I see you've worked with some clients up to 4 times. Tell us some unique stories about some of the people that you've come across in this business.
Oh, I have some really good stories.
Share with us some.
I have one lady that I was contacted through an attorney's office. They had a guardianship. And the first time I moved her, she was in a condo. And I never met her to begin with. She was in a rehab center. She was a really interesting person. She was the first woman stockbroker in the New York Stock Exchange. And her sister was one of the Supreme Court, or not a Supreme Court, but she was one of the first women judges. And they both lived together for a while until the one sister passed away. Neither one of them had ever married. Neither one of them had any family. So there was no one to take care of all this when she needed to downsize. So that was a downsizing, and I moved her to 4 different places. Well, I moved her to 3 different places, but one place she moved from one floor to another as her Alzheimer's progressed. And then when she passed away, the 5th time was actually, I had to close up her her room and dispose of everything. So with each move, we had to get rid of more and more things, and I had to find homes for them or donations. And when she went into the first place, she was an Alzheimer's patient. She had a lot of pictures. One of them was when she lived in New York, was with Vincent Price. I thought that was so neat.
Right.
So what I did was I got a big hat box, cut a slit in the top, and I put all the pictures that I thought she might enjoy looking at in the box and brought that to her assisted living place so she could look through those and maybe it would trigger a little something.
Wow. See, you had also somebody with a connection to Donny Osmond and his records.
Well, it was that was a kind of a funny story. I had a gentleman who had a great big Rubbermaid container of albums. So I was trying to figure out a way to maybe sell them. So I contacted a gentleman who bought records. And while I had him in there looking through all the albums, I was in another room packing some other things up, and he came out laughing. And I said, well, did you find some you could sell? He said, well, just a couple. I said, oh, out of that whole big container. He starts laughing. He goes, Rita, I don't get a big call for Donny Osmond. Turns out most of it was Donny Osmond albums. So that was kind of funny.
I'm sure you come across many interesting people in this line of work. So let me take a break here. Currently talking to Rita Rodriguez, Senior Move Manager and owner of Seniors Moving Forward. So if you're in need of assistance with a loved one, maybe they're downsizing or moving into an assisted living facility, she knows the care to take with moving your loved one into these types of facilities, as well as downsizing, and knows how to kind of work with the senior in this time of as they grow older here. Currently talking with Rita Rodriguez, and you can learn more about this over at seniorsmovingforward.net. You're listening to That Business Show. Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project. In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The Best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn Apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today. What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's Facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Heavy traffic now on westbound I-4 from US 301 over towards the Selman Connector. That's due to the left lane being blocked due to a crash there. Southbound 275 between Bierce and Sly, and southbound Veterans Expressway now between Dale Mabry and Waters. Crash in St. Petersburg now on MLK at 54th Avenue North, not affecting 54th, but all lanes blocked just south of that intersection. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Compassion International. There is a little boy or girl living in poverty right now. They don't have enough to eat, are sick, and can't go to school. And you can release them from that poverty when you become a sponsor with Compassion International. Find out how at compassion.com/radio.
Today, hot with a 40% chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, high 93. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 78. Tomorrow, a 40% rain chance with a high 93.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to That Business Show at Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Talking to Rita Rodriguez, Senior Move Manager and owner of Seniors Moving Forward. Learn more about her services over at seniorsmovingforward.net. So, Rita, I see you're working with Christy Campbell's Be a Santa to a Senior program. Tell the community a little bit about this.
Oh, it's my heart. This will be my 4th year to help Christy with that. And I met her at a networking group, and, well, we started talking, and she said she was looking for volunteers for Be a Santa to a Senior. And I said, well, I'd like to help. So I met her at her office. This will be, like I said, 4 years ago. And I said, what can I do to help? She goes, well, here's the key. I want you to round up volunteers. And I was like, oh gosh. So I did. I called on friends and relatives and friends of friends and organized a schedule and got that all set. So what we do is she sets out Christmas trees with names of people that are in Medicaid type nursing homes that don't have any family or friends, and without that they would not have a Christmas. So there are certain things that we give everybody. We give everybody some personal items like shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, socks, blankets, and then they also can request other things that they would like, and sometimes those are really interesting. So when the trees are all put out, they're out for a certain length of time, and then volunteers pick up the small trees with all the presents that people have brought with their names on them. And then what happens is when they come back to us at Christy's office, we have to actually pretty much rebag everything. And if there are things that are not included in the bags, she gets money donated, and we go out and buy things, and we repackage everything and set them all up. And then we call the Sleighs, which is an ambulance company that delivers them to the different nursing homes for their parties. Mm-hmm. The first year I did it, I think we did about 500 or 600 bags. Last year we did over 1,200.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Hey, any of those requests ever a bottle of whiskey?
Oh, yeah. Yes, we've had bottle of whiskey. We had one lady that wanted a sequins top for a New Year's Eve party, which is kind of hard to believe since they're mostly bedridden. But we've had, we get a lot of requests for, clothes.
Right.
We do anything from a size extra small to a size 6X, and a lot of our time is spent organizing, because sometimes the bags just come in all at once and we have to kind of sort through them and stuff. But I've had people that, since I've started, friends of mine that have helped me all 3 years and are ready for starting the 4th year. And last year I had one of my daughters and my granddaughter come in, and my granddaughter came up to me 2 weeks ago and said, "Grandma, when are you going to be a Santa to a senior again? I want to do it this year." And she just turned 12,
Wow.
and she really enjoyed it too.
So is still looking for volunteers to get involved
Absolutely,
with this? All right.
absolutely. We'll start probably the week of Thanksgiving to start organizing.
And I'm sure Christy and I will be promoting that. Christy Campbell, a show partner
Absolutely.
to the program, and referred Rita over to me for the program today. So I see you volunteered since you were 12 years old. So giving back to the community is something that you hold near and dear to your heart. Tell us just some of the ways that you've given back, to the community, and encourage others to do the same too.
Oh, I do. I started out when I was 12 years old being a director in training working at Playground. And I did a little training for that. I did that for 2 or 3 years. And I was a brownie leader. I volunteered, taught class at church. I've been part of organizations that do volunteer work. I've just always enjoyed giving back. It's like the old saying, it makes you feel better than the person you're
Right.
helping.
Yeah, it's an important thing, and I
It
always
is.
like to promote the good that people do, because we see so much negativity in the news, and it's important that it's to remind people that that's not the way Americans are.
No.
That's just that's where the money is on TV, and that's the audience that they cater to, unfortunately. But there's just so many good people out there, and Rita just being another one of the many great people here.
Speak for yourself. The only thing I ever volunteered for was nap time.
Nah, Josh is a good person too.
Yeah, Josh, we'll have to recruit you to be a Santa to a senior then.
So how do you spread the word about this service, Senior Move Managers? Because like you said, you're constantly educating people all the time of this service. How do you get the word out there?
I would say 99% of my business comes from networking and referrals. I'll do little speaking engagements when asked. I've been to churches, I've been to the library, I've been to organizations, but mostly it's people in the senior industry is mostly my networking. When I started out, I did a lot of networking groups, but then you have to find the ones that relate to your area of expertise. And I found that for me, it works better to go to the senior focus networking groups. People there understand what I do, and that's who would refer me more than someone who maybe sells candles or cookware. Yes, they may know someone who needs it, but I find more that the senior groups.
Now, who do you work with the actual move? Now, you mentioned earlier that you're the move manager.
Right.
I mean, who's doing the actual backing and the trucks? Do you outsource that? Do you have a certain go-to company for
I
that?
think that's what she said earlier when I asked her that you go out and find moving companies.
But is there certain ones that you work with
Yes.
specifically? So
Yes, I have certain ones I work with, and some I've tried and I wasn't happy with. But there's a group of them that I work with that I do like, but then it's always a scheduling problem between.
Have you
clients.
tried Hunks hauling junk yet? I can imagine that's going to be popular among the ladies in the
Yeah, well, yeah. I haven't used them specifically, but there are certain.
thinking about it now.
I was now, absolutely.
Josh is always full of ideas.
I
and
know.
So there's another
I'm trying to
one
help
for
those guys out.
and they've been on the show before.
And
too.
they're nice guys. I've met with them. Yeah, they are.
They have an incredible story as well.
They
We've
do.
shared that on the program before.
She said that in the most nicest politically correct way ever. They're nice guys.
All right, we got to wrap up the segment. So, Rita Rodriguez, we thank you so much for being in studio. Again, Senior Move Manager with Seniors Moving Forward. So, Rita, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And if you could be in need of her services, you can reach out to her. Rita at seniorsmovingforward.net is her email address, or the website seniorsmovingforward.net. Phone number 813-748-5562, 748-5562. Coming back from the break, we'll be talking with Ira Anderson, director with BDO on That Business Show at Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Southbound, I-4 very slow from I-75 over towards downtown Tampa. Crash in the left-hand lane near the Selma Connector. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson Udrich. Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by E-Bar's Saturday Market. From unique artisan crafts and jewelry to fresh local produce and delectable baked goods, the E-Bar Saturday Market is where family and friends come to shop, eat, and explore. Join their market family every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in E-Bar's at Centennial Park. Parking is free and pets are always welcome.
1250 winds, Weather Center forecast. Scattered showers and storms this afternoon. The rain chance at 50%. Another hot day nearing those mid-90 highs. Partly sunny skies. A little cooler in the overnights, closer to mid-70s, not near 80 like we've been. 40% chance of rain to close out the week Thursday, Friday, low 90s. Impact Radio, 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. You're finding the show on the air for the first time. This is a show where we highlight entrepreneurs and community leaders. It's a show with a positive message, and I like to say it's unlike any other show on the airwaves in the morning, as we focus on positivity and the successes of our entrepreneurs and our leaders in the community. So if you'd like to get involved with the show, visit tbsinterview.com. You can request an interview over there. We got some of the benefits of coming onto the program. Again, tbsinterview.com. And also you can learn more about the program over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, the show in partnership with the Tampa Bay Business Owners, a network of 300 business owners in the Tampa Bay region that come together to collaborate and educate and work together on different business topics every month. And we do a lot of different events. And so the show now working hand in hand with the organization. And we'd like to invite business owners out there in the community to apply for membership. You'd be helping to support the radio show as well. So that's how we do support the radio show. The show is not free. I'm not employed by the station. I come in here and I buy the time and I do whatever I'd like with the program, and I like to do something positive. I could come in here and talk about myself for an hour. I could come in here and complain about the president for an hour if I wanted to, but I choose to do something positive with the program.
No one
each
likes
and every
a
morning.
negative Nancy.
Yeah, well, there's enough of it on the airwaves, and we like
with that.
And we like to give it back to the community because there's not enough people out there giving back to the everyday businessman and the everyday community leader out there, and that's what That Business Show is all about. And again, learn more about the program over at TampaBayRadio.com, and we're on Monday through Friday, 7 to 9, and video stream available on the homepage of TampaBayRadio.com also. Time to bring in my next guest for the program. I have Ira Anderson, director of BDO, and it's an accounting and insurance firm. We've talked with the company before in the past, so they are a returning company, but Ira is a first-time guest on the program. So, Ira, welcome to the program today.
Thank you, Jamie.
So, first, tell us just a little bit about your role and what BDO is so people understand this. I know we're going to talk about, more about community involvement because accounting and insurance and all that's not too interesting.
I thought we were going to talk about the millennial from Elevate that eat a bunch of food
wants to
and
talk
knows a
to
lot about 80s music.
We'll put Samantha on the mic later on. How about that? So we're going to talk about Ira today. So Ira, tell us a little about yourself.
Sure. Thanks, Jamie. Yeah, I'm a native to Tampa. Actually, was born in MacDill a long time ago. and grew up in Central Florida. Moved to Lakeland back in 1981 to go to Florida Southern.
Oh, okay.
Which you might have a little bit of familiarity with.
Yep, 96 to 98. Yes,
correct. And so anyway, joined BDO. Have been in public accounting next March for 30 years, but joined BDO last November as BDO was getting into the Central Florida market in a more prominent way. My actual assignment with them is director of auditing and assurance. So clients,
not exactly an exciting topic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we want to spend a lot of time talking about accounting standards and changes in revenue recognition.
But I do have to ask,
though.
I do have to ask: do you work mostly with large corporations with BDO? Do you work with like the everyday business owner? Like
it's a combination. Correct. I mean, you can look at the public filers and know that the majority of those are done by the Big Four. But certainly there's companies below that big space that BDO handles that are still multi-million, billion-dollar plus entities that may not need SEC filing, even though we certainly do a certain amount of those. But here, locally, especially for me, you can have the $5 million manufacturer to the $400 million manufacturer.
But do you ever deal with just like the entry level entrepreneur to like maybe just up to $1 million in income, or is that for?
Correct. Again, when you think about revenue size, as you know, a lot of startups can be very asset intensive before they actually start doing their work or manufacturing their products for sale in the open market. So yes, we will definitely get involved in startups, especially if there's a large operating model that they have that requires a more substantial firm to do that type of work.
The point I'm getting at is just like as an auditor, nobody does the same thing. And so when you go into these different businesses, I mean, you kind of got to wrap your head around what some people are doing. Now, when you get to large corporations, they have their systems and it's kind of easy to follow if you follow their training procedures. But
correct. Entrepreneurs, you've got the sort of the fly by your seat entrepreneur to a point that will get it done, then figure out what he did.
Right.
That's what I'm getting. Which is the real that's a little more challenging than normal. And there it's going to depend upon who's wanting to mine the store with respect to outside third parties. If they're looking to obtain financing, or if they're needing bonding, or they're needing something that assists them in building their practice, then they really have to buckle down and get the processes and procedures in place that substantiate the numbers a little more than if they're just filing a tax.
Now, have you worked at BDO most of your career? Were you ever in private practice or anything? Or
when I came out of college, back in the mid '80s from Florida Southern, I worked for 10 months with a sort of a startup. This is back when Ma Bell sort of deregulated. So you had long distance carriers that were popping up all over the place. So I worked for 10 months with one of those, a startup. Then I switched to a local CPA firm, and that CPA firm merged in 2007 with Crowe Horwath. And then I left Crowe back in October to join BDO.
Gotcha.
But it's, again, right at 30 years in public accounting.
And you stayed in Lakeland the entire time?
Yes, sir.
You drove over from Lakeland this morning just for the program, so we thank him for that.
Just to be here early at 6:30 in the dark.
And I still, I always joke about this. I grew up in West Virginia, and when I came, and it was a town of about 10,000, and I went to Florida Southern, and it was my first time really in a major city. And to me, that's you said a major city. To me, it's a small town now, but it was such a culture shock coming into Lakeland when I was 18. And today, I consider Tampa like a small town.
Well, Jamie, used to not seeing goats on the side of the road. I mean.
But people would joke with me and say, like, all right, you came from West Virginia, a redneck state, and you found the only redneck county in Florida, and you landed there. Was that intentional? I was like, no, I really knew nothing about Polk County.
Right.
But I do have a love for Lakeland, a great little town, and you have a lot of community involvement over there. Talk to us about your involvement.
Yes. Well, again, talking about small towns, I'm probably the first person that's on your show from Bushnell.
Oh, Bushnell, yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
So that's,
Where is Bushnell?
It's a tiny little town.
Exactly.
In Polk.
If you get on I-75 and head north towards Gainesville, about an hour north of here is Bushnell. It's where the Florida National Cemetery is.
Okay. I'm thinking of some others. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And so anyway, and part of that, upbringing and going to Florida Southern and being involved with things, there on campus, certainly developed an affinity for giving back, and our local firm back in the late 80s and early 90s, when you're a young staff person, that's one of the things that we always focus on. That's certainly what we focus on at BDO, is being, community, having a community involvement, a community spirit. And so a number of things that I've been involved in which, Rita was talking about, the senior assistance in moving. There's a group over there called VISTI, Volunteers in Service to the Elderly. And that's something very similar where, elderly people need, they need people to help them at times because a lot of them are shut-ins.
Right.
So you also bring them whiskey?
I didn't do that. We'll bring them food. I don't think that Visti has a liquor cabinet to distribute from yet, but yes, they probably would. But that's one of the things I've been involved in. But there's a number. I was just sort of touching on that because of Rita earlier. But probably the most significant things I've done recently. I've been the past chair of the Lakeland Economic Development Council.
Okay,
and that's really more tied into trying to provide opportunities for companies to continue to grow and move into Lakeland, as well as us having a real focus on developing young entrepreneurs, and as well as creating space for the creative class to stay in Lakeland.
Now, do you see a lot of entrepreneurs in Lakeland? We see a lot here in Tampa. There's a lot of programs and groups that are geared towards entrepreneurism, and we talk about that a lot on the program. It's one of the reasons why I do this program is to highlight the entrepreneurs. What's the entrepreneur environment like over in Lakeland?
It's growing and expanding rapidly.
I believe
honestly.
We're in like an entrepreneurial movement right here. One of the challenges that we're facing, though, is bringing in investment into Tampa for these entrepreneurs. There are investors, but they're tech focused, and it's hard to find investors that want to get into the other areas of business.
Right, and and this is one of the things that we actually had a past chair dinner last night for the Economic Development Council, and one of the things that we discussed is the really hot spots for entrepreneurs when you think of say Austin or Boulder or some of those places that you certainly have the tech side of it, but then one of the bigger things that you really don't think about is restaurants and food development. I mean, there's when you have a commercial kitchen and you have people that are entrepreneurs that are trying to develop restaurant ideas and restaurant themes. I mean, when you think about here in Central Florida, between Darden and Orlando and Bloomin' Brands here in Tampa, I mean, obviously they've had some type of testing on a regular basis trying to develop, restaurant and food themes. Well, that's one of the things that we've certainly done a good job in Lakeland with our, with LEDC's Catapult. So our version, had a small industrial kitchen, commercial kitchen to start with. So we've had, people baking breads, beignets, I mean, all sorts of different types of foods, with themes of restaurants. And or providing food service or food type products to say Publix or larger grocery store chains. So again, I mean when you start thinking about those types of opportunities for entrepreneurs, you got to run the gamut of whether it's again tech startups or personal services or restaurants. I mean it's a big thing.
I don't think we need any more tech startups around here. For a while there, I thought the Entrepreneur Starter Kit came with a free Metro PCS store.
It may have.
So tell us, how do we keep millennials in the area? That's a big concern because they're going to be a huge group. We got a lot of seniors coming into the area, but they're retiring. How do we keep the millennials in Florida here?
You got to plug them in. And through Catapult, we have a group called Y Lakeland. And Y Lakeland every summer puts on a summer leadership program. And that summer leadership program takes them to area businesses, gives them an idea of how these businesses operate, has the leaders of the businesses, talk to them, talk about, entrepreneurship, talk about leadership, take them to the cool places around Lakeland. Let them see that there's other things to do besides what they may know about in their small circle.
And Lakeland has grown so much because I lived in South Lakeland, and at the time they were just building that Home Depot down there at the end. And I went over there because I do list some properties over in Lakeland. I am a realtor still, for people that aren't familiar with that side of my business. But I mean, it's really taken off down there. So where is the opportunities just from a business standpoint in Lakeland right now? Is South Lakeland still the place to be, or where at?
Well, I mean, downtown is certainly getting, part of what we're doing, and if you read the Ledger,
I used to. Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to have about a $12.5 million project to build a new Catapult 2.0, for entrepreneurs and that creative class.
Did you say Catapult?
Yes.
As in like launches rocks at the invading enemy,
like Trebuchet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Correct.
So new Catapult coming.
Correct. So we're going to upgrade Catapult. We were 3 years into the existing one. And we thought we'd be lucky to have 40 people participating in our co-working space and other things we had going on. Right now we're at 115.
Wow.
So again, it just shows you that there's that type of opportunity. So again, the process of training, educating them, giving them sort of the understanding, sort of like the starter kit. How can you make your business get started? How can you make it come up with your business plan, promote it. And certainly, we've got some banks that have pulled monies together, and we have pitches.
Yep.
And
we have 1 Million Cups here in Tampa. Are you familiar with 1 Million Cups?
Mm-hmm.
It's a group of people that get together and people pitch their product to the group. It's a national movement. There's a chapter here in Tampa. I don't know if there's one in Lakeland, but just another showing of the entrepreneurial movement that's growing in the community. So 1 Million Cups for people that are listening. You can pitch your product in a group of about 40 to 50 peers. Typically show up to those events, and so a way to get your idea or your product in front of the group. And 1millioncups.com, I think you got to apply to pitch your product to that. So we've featured several of them on the program before. We're going to talk a little bit more about his community involvement when we come back from the break, and also ways to keep the millennials in the workplace. Obviously, that's a big concern for economic development here in the Tampa Bay region.
I hear Big Mac's help.
Big Mac's help. Little side joke based on what goes on during the breaks here on the program. So we'll talk maybe a little bit about that when we come back from the break too. We'll see. So currently talking to Ira Anderson, director of BDO, and you can learn more about their services over at BDO.com. You're listening to That Business Show. Jamie Maloney, your business becomes show business.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today, or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation. What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Very heavy traffic on westbound I-4 this morning from before I-75 over towards Ybor City. Had a crash in the left-hand lane right near the Selman connector, and that was stacking things up. Also southbound I-75 slow from before Fletcher to around I-4. Crash in St. Pete on MLK just south of 54th Avenue North has all lanes blocked there. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Utica Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Foundation for a Better Life.
This is water. Can you feel this, Helen? Yes, water! Helen, it's water!
Deaf and blind, Helen Keller overcame her world of darkness. Foresight, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Today, hot with a 40% chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, high 93. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 78. Tomorrow, a 40% rain chance with a high 93.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, your business becomes show business. Talking to Ira Anderson. He's a director with a BDO, an accounting and assurance firm. It says international reach. You can learn more about that over at BDO.com. But because accounting and assurance is not exactly the most exciting of all topics, we're talking more about community involvement. We're touching on millennials in the workplace in that last segment. And are you seeing a lot of millennials wanting to remain in Lakeland, or are they kind of matriculating out of the communities over there?
Well, I think that's the part of the vision and the goal of Catapult and its sort of offshoot Y Lakeland is to keep them there. So you've got 4 universities and colleges, well 5 now when you count Florida Poly, that we've really reached out to and have worked hard to provide internships to give them, again, through that summer leadership program, and ideas to what Lakeland's about and Central Florida's about. And we would love to keep them, but part of that program is just to impress upon them wherever they go that they need to give back.
Right.
And again, work on honing their leadership skills. So anyway, I think we're probably in our 9th or 10th class. Before we were doing 8 weeks per summer with one class, and this year we split it into two classes covering 5 weeks. And of the, say, 450 people that were either new hires or interns, I think that we've had a very good success rate in keeping the people that were the new hires, in Lakeland.
Very interesting. So what kept you in Lakeland all these years? You've never left Lakeland since coming out of college?
Yeah,
You've kept there? What keeps you in Lakeland?
Correct. When I graduated in the mid-'80s, like I described, started working for a long-distance telephone carrier, got a job with a local firm. And this is where the millennials and I are a little bit different. So I was always looking to move to Tampa or move to Orlando, and back then's when the 5th year came out for CPAs. You had to have 5 years of education. So I was finishing up that 5th year, getting some master's level courses. Had a chance once to move to Orlando. It didn't work out with Coopers and Libran back then. And then had a chance again to move to Tampa. And every time I was like, okay, it's a little bit more money, but you've got the best of both worlds sort of in Lakeland. You're 30 minutes, 40 minutes from Tampa. You're 45 minutes from Disney, 50 minutes from downtown Orlando.
I thought it was a great location
Correct.
when I came to. I still think it's a great location when I came out of West Virginia.
Yeah,
and
so ended up marrying a Lakeland girl, 15 years ago, and have 3 kids, and
so you got stuck. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell my wife that. Maybe can I get a tape of this?
Oh, it's live and it's taped. It's all over the place.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no hiding.
But that's part of it. And the millennial.
And here I was worried about the good old boys after watching Rocky Horror Picture Show in the Lakeland Theater.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to should be worried.
We're
going
to get Josh to the Polk Theater for in Halloween.
Theater.
Exactly. Watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I saw in 1981. in the Polk Theater, and with his atmospheric theater, about 1,500 seats, one of the few atmospheric theaters that are left in the country.
Isn't there a cult of people that go to the Rocky Horror Picture Show and they do certain things throughout the movie, like at certain scenes or something?
Correct.
Like there's
throw
a scene,
rice,
throw
water during the rain, throw rice at the wedding.
I actually just saw this movie the first time. That's why I'm like blabbing about it on the air. But I watched it at like 3 a.m. last night with my girlfriend, and every time they said Brad or Janet, she yelled out a couple of things that I can't say. And I'm sitting there.
It works.
Like every time they would say the name, she would yell it out, and I'm like, "What the hell are you doing?" I mean, is that
that's
was
it.
doing that in the Polk Theater?
Any movie that the lead guy's named Frankenfurter, you know you're going to have some.
And the Tampa Picture Show puts it on.
Yeah.
I see it in the movie listings a lot of times. I've never been to it. I mean, I've seen it on television. I've seen plays of it and everything, but I've never been to the theater when they actually do what they're supposed to do at the.
It's a cult. Yeah, it's an absolute cult classic.
Yeah, so Rocky Horror
There's a whole
Picture
script that you're supposed to follow while you're watching.
Yeah. It's one of those cult movies and stuff. So if you haven't seen that movie out there, any of the listeners, check it out, and then check out the what is it on Halloween is the time to go. You said it.
Correct. Halloween. Halloween's the time.
Gotcha.
For sure.
So any ties to Florida Southern College still? You graduated from there in the early 80s, you said. So
Correct,
still involved with Florida Southern over there?
For a number of years, they've got a number, leader of, giving programs, have been a consistent contributor.
How's the community? How's the college doing over there? Any growth in the college?
Well,
they did a lot of new buildings.
What dorm? You were in the new freshman dorm?
I was in Hollis Hall in the freshman hall, and then I was in the Pi Kappa Phi fraternity after that. So I was in the fraternity house.
So when I was there, all the dorms that were there are now gone.
Yeah, they tore all that stuff down.
They tore all the old dorms down.
Didn't you say Jamie's old fraternity was kicked out of some place or some college?
It was kicked off in the 80s, and then were kicked off again in the 90s.
Yeah, they're like on a regular rotation for getting
specifically
kicked out
1996. They were kicked off.
Brought back. Yeah.
We were kicked off a year after I left.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I've never really talked too much about my fraternity life on here, but we definitely had some days. And speaking of tearing down buildings, our fraternity house was set to be torn down at the end of the 97 year, and so at that last day of school, we went through and spray painted and destroyed the entire interior. And then the school got mad at us, and they fined the fraternity and said, "We're like, you're tearing it down next week."
Exactly. Yeah,
they were actually mad about you guys doing the cartwheels and togas.
Yeah, no, it was a big incident, but we destroyed.
When they started tearing down, so there was like the old was Trinity, Presbyterian, Wesley. I mean Wofford, all these back religious names for the dorms, and as they were tearing them down, you'd start. They'd knock out the windows with rocks and all these things. And
we got to wrap up the segment. We could go on and on about that one. But Ira Anderson, thank you so much for being in studio today.
Absolutely, Jamie. Absolutely, Josh.
And learn more about his company over at BDO.com. Coming back from the break, it'll be Working Women Wednesdays on That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.